queer or what?
Loud and queer.
Hi, everybody. This is a gay podcast. And not only is
Hi.
it a gay podcast, it's called Mean Girls Interrupted, and it's a movie review and recap audio and now visual medium just
Yes.
for you. We took a week off. We probably should have taken more because
I feel like it's been about a month, but it's only
even
been a
though
week.
it's only been a week.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we really marathoned it last month. I was pretty impressed.
John, we did 10 episodes, and I think we only did 8 last Halloween.
Yeah, I think there were 5 weeks this last
And somehow
episode,
we ended it on Halloween, which is even better.
which is even better. And
Yep.
so we benefit from having double the numbers. and
Yeah.
you guys benefit because we talk to each other about movies and
Yeah.
maybe Travis, do you think they like it?
I mean, honestly, I couldn't tell you. I really don't know.
Yeah, but all I can really say is that I like showing up and talking to you, Travis.
Yeah. And I don't really care if they like it. I do. I do. Okay. Listen, everyone, I'm really not like that. I
But do
just
we
sit,
really care?
we do just a little bit because, like,
Yeah.
honestly, I do care. Like, we're just strange people on the internet who we, for some reason, we think people who don't know us should listen to us, which I think that says a lot about our personalities.
I was thinking about this last night because we started watching this docu-series on HBO Max, and it's called Something the Mother God or something like that. And it's one of those cult docu-series.
Oh,
And yeah, so the first episode is out, so we watched it, and it follows this like podunk American villager lady who she was like climbing the corporate ladder at her local McDonald's, and she then just like fell into this obsession with the internet circa early 2000. So you know how that is.
oh, we've both been there.
Yeah, like the websites are very HTML, like weird and like JavaScripty and like and she fell into this like world niche of like pseudo dating sites that are like people with similar interests, and then it's like and she was getting into like angels and like spirituality via the internet,
Oh,
and like and then she found this guy who she kind of fell in love with really fast, and she did mushrooms once and it was
what?
over for her. She Something flipped inside of her where she became totally like megalomaniacal, and she started a cult, and like it had like a real online presence through like live streams, and they started doing like the whole like selling merchandise on live streams really early on to like get money for their weird cult. And yeah, and so she had this, her identity, you never see footage of her not in front of a computer at one point. And it's a desktop, it's all weird, and she has like the weird microphones and everything like that. But everything that's going on around her is going on around her, and she is at that computer. And she's like, she has this personality that's a, a persona, and it's crazy. And like you see it all over social media now, right? Like people like live streaming on their phones, like talking direct to camera to people who aren't even in the room.
Oh, yeah.
Like uh it's so prolific that it's a little scary, and like people follow these people and they like idolize these people, and yeah, it was just sort of like a reflection of that. And at one point I was like, how much do we really need to care about like listeners and followers, and like how is that that's the currency now, like, you know,
It
e-
is.
even in like a delusional scale, because it's like you and I are not celebrities doing a podcast and who rake in lots and lots of cash.
Lots of money because of
Yeah,
the amount of people who listen to it.
right. And so like for that to be like the aspiration feels like a little bit delusional, but we could just be doing this just to do it and have fun.
I mean, honestly, that is kind of at this point, like,
Yeah, like this is what we're doing. But I mean, like, but I feel like there are a lot of people out there who are like really grinding themselves to the bone to like make something happen. And I know that's not what we're doing, but like,
I'm
but
no.
there are people out there who like that's like the thing to do. So
Listen, I'm not going to say it wouldn't be nice, but also, I
sure.
here's the thing. I live a very normal, well, I live a very quiet existence. I go to work. I don't
You're like
like to be
normal's
bothered.
the wrong word.
Yeah, I don't really like to be bothered.
Yeah.
I'm kind of standoffish, not
Mhm.
in a way that like I just naturally. So it's weird.
Are you trying to say to me in a weird roundabout way that you're not very nice or something?
I don't think so. I think I'm.
Oh, yeah, like that's what I'm gonna tell you next is like you're super nice and amazing and
Yeah, but
oh, you're a warm person.
I wouldn't tepid. I think
No,
I think tepid's a little better.
you
I
care about people.
not most of the time. I'm so
Hmm.
sorry. I don't. That's a
Hmm.
facade. I worked in the food industry for so long that it's so easy to pretend you care.
I know the feeling on that one too.
It's
Because
fake. I'm so sorry.
yeah, working in customer service for as long as I had, and like it's it becomes like this weird like muscle memory thing
Uh-huh.
where it's like you can just switch it on, go for your 8 hours, and then as soon as you enter the car, you're like, I fucking hate that place. But you're like, yay! And while you're there, you're like, amazing, love that
It's
for you.
oh. Um hmm. I don't love it for here's the thing though. And I hate to say this, but there was a person who came in the other day at my job, and I'm never going to tell you guys where I work. You can Google that if you want to. And she came in, and I immediately was so her energy started off very crazy, and I was like, I'm gonna have to match this because it's the only way I can survive. And so I matched her energy the whole time.
You did?
Yep. And at the end, she asked me if she could buy me a coffee somewhere.
Oh, you know what that's called? It's called pacing.
Oh,
It's what sociopaths and salespeople do.
but here's the thing. It got to a point where it was escalating, where this she basically was like, I can't explain to you the levels of entitlement. You get
Mm.
it. And
Oh, I get
so,
it. I get it.
especially because you know. And
Yeah.
so I was like, I can't do this. And I refuse to be treated like the help. And
Hmm.
so
So
I
you're like,
wasn't
what up,
going to.
bitch? Let's talk to each other.
And then, really, at the end, she asked if she could buy me a coffee.
You're like, absolutely, we're the same.
No, I told her, I wish, but I've had too much.
Oh, nice, nice. Oh, you shut her down. I
Yep.
love that. Power play, Travis. Power play.
Yeah, I really did.
Um,
I said, nope, I've had enough already.
yeah, yeah. And by enough already, you're actually meaning her.
All of it, pretty much all of it. So,
No, I love that, and like I feel that, and I do that as well, and like it's just sort of funny to me. I don't know. It's interesting. Like whenever because there is like sort of like the help dynamic whenever somebody walks into a place of retail, right?
yeah, I'm like,
And
don't.
it
I'm like, don't try me.
yeah, and there are people who like assert that dynamic, and then there are people who are like they get over that immediately if you're just sort of like matching them or pacing them and
Oh, right. Because they're like, oh, this isn't going to work.
right. They're like, "Oh, you're just like me." And like, "Meh. However, I have $1 million."
Yeah. However, I'm incredibly wealthy.
Yeah. So but anyway, speaking of extremely wealthy people,
We're talking about a movie this
yeah.
week that involves lots of wealthy people, and not just as characters, but
But
also
also
the people who
real
are acting in this movie.
Yeah, and it shows on their doctored faces.
Yeah, sure, 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 sure,
It
sure, sure, sure.
does.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
And
yeah.
also their notoriety and
Yeah,
historic success in entertainment.
right.
And
Mostly that, but also, yes, there have been some faces doctored.
there have been some doctored faces, and we'll
They've
dive
been
into that
photoshopped.
permanently.
They've been photoshopped.
They've been surgically photoshopped.
They've been face tuned in real life.
Yeah, it'd be funny if there was a like a little clinic called Facetune IRL.
Honestly,
Yeah,
work. I want that.
that sounds like a really popular place in LA.
It would.
Like, let's go to Facetune IRL.
Honestly, the novelty would draw in a lot of business, but I think it would peter out very quickly.
Right, as soon as like another acronym or whatever came about to
Right.
replace IRL.
Yeah, yeah. Facetune IRL.
Yeah,
Be gone.
yeah.
Oh, so the movie we're speaking of is it called A Haunting in Venice or
A haunting in Venice.
A Haunting in Venice? And
A
listen,
haunting in Venice.
we know we already did the Halloween thing. We are currently into what, the middle of November
Yeah,
at this
but this
point?
is technically um a murder mystery in the vein of Knives Out.
I love a good murder mystery.
I love a good
And
murder
the
mystery.
operative word is in that sentence, everyone, and you
Yeah.
can decide which one it is.
Yeah, and say for instance, Knives Out,
Yeah,
the original
right.
is a good murder mystery.
Sure.
The
Clue.
Clue is a good murder mystery. Um, I would say the Onion version of Knives Out. What was that? The Glass Onion.
The Glass Onion was, and
It
it wasn't it wasn't bad, but
was a good vehicle for Janelle Monáe.
it was actually a pretty good vehicle, I think, for everybody to just make something fun.
Yeah.
I think that's
Was the
kind of what that
mystery
was.
groundbreaking? No.
No,
Was
not,
there a breakout performance? Maybe not.
but everybody performed and they all performed well.
They all showed up and they did their jobs.
Yes, they did. What's another good murder mystery?
I would
Any
say,
Murder
um,
She Wrote, every episode, as
ugh.
they're full.
There's a place on Beverly here called Burger She Wrote. And
Oh,
I want to eat there. And just because outside it's like they have the whole Murder She Wrote font that says
sure.
Burger She Wrote, just like the
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you a lot of people who are only just visiting LA for the first time are like,
Yeah.
we have to go. See, it's the novelty.
It's a novelty. I mean, I want to go in there and just see what it's all about. Like there better be nods to like Angela Lansbury
Right. There has to
abound.
be.
Otherwise,
There
like what are you doing?
honestly, how is she though? Always
Is she not
in.
has she passed?
Oh, of course, you didn't see her in A Haunting in Venice.
She was haunting the F out of Michelle Yeoh,
Yes, she was. Uh,
working her like a puppet.
what I want to know is in Murder She Wrote, which by the way, I absolutely do love that show. It is cheesy as hell, but it is one of the best. If you want to just throw it on,
Yeah.
how is she always? There's always a murder when she's around. And
I mean,
the
she's
the
sniffing it
point
out.
the point I want to get to is this.
Angela
Why is
Lansbury
there
is a murderer.
Oh no, she is a bad bitch.
She
Um,
travels in seedy circles.
yes, she does. You would never know. She runs her
Mhm.
own trap. And so what I was gonna say is how is there always a detective?
Yeah, yeah.
Literally in every murder mystery, there's always a detective, but
Well,
why?
this is the thing. So, a
Can't the
haunting in
collective people in there come together? I mean, come on, Scooby-Doo.
why do we have to have an expert dissecting everything? But this is a thing. This movie, A Haunting in Venice, is based off of the acclaimed Agatha Christie novel.
Sure.
So, Murder on the Orient Express,
Sure, yes, which
Death
was
on the
very
Nile.
lackluster. I didn't watch Death on the Nile.
Yeah. So, in this
Well, the
movie,
remake, because wasn't there another Murder on the Orient Orient Express.
Yeah, and I'll get to this because a Haunting in Venice is now part of this whole Kenneth Branagh thing
Oh,
where he plays mustache guy, Italian
oh,
mustache.
sure, Perot.
Puro, yes. So Puro is the, I
Isn't that a
believe,
fancy water?
yes. No, that's Perrier.
Oh, close enough.
It's mustache water.
Sure, 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 sure.
It's you
Oh,
just wring out that crazy mustache.
I don't want to know what's in there. It's like leftover rye bread and like bits of cheese.
Yeah, that's like the solids are like strained out, and then what you're left with is mustache water.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So Poirot is, I believe, the detective that like Daniel Craig is based off of in Knives Out,
Oh,
just to bring
sure.
it into
Bring it
current
back to
era.
bring it back around.
Yeah, so he's like sort of going, he's like anthologizing. He's like doing the anthology thing with like,
Anthologizing sounds like an exercise in the 80s.
yeah, oh my gosh, have you anthologized? But so she like so Daniel Craig was a part of like, he was a detective in the first Knives Out, and he was sort of interloped into this whole situation. And then the same thing happens in The Glass Onion, a Knives
Yeah,
Out mystery,
yeah.
in a very Agatha Christie way. And so what we're seeing now is like Kenneth Branagh doing the same thing, but with actual Agatha Christie stuff. Because I believe he's in Murder on the Orient Express. I don't know if he directed it because he directed this one.
He did.
Yeah.
Uh, hmm,
Mm,
interesting.
yeah.
How much did this movie cost to
Oh,
make?
you know what I don't even have pulled up right now? Stats.
That's totally okay.
So let's see here. What I like to do here is just narrate what I'm doing while I'm doing it. So I am
yeah.
typing in www.pro,
Uh-oh.
pro, um, no, IMDb, right?
Well,
It's
John does
IMDb.
this. I want to tell you all something really funny today. So what happened at work was, and I won't give you any context, but one of my coworkers was crying, and one of my other coworkers came in and they were talking and having a little chat and a kiki. And then at the end of it, a coworker says to the now formerly crying coworker, I know you've been crying, but your eyes still look really pretty.
Oh my gosh. That's like the best way to get somebody to like stop it.
Honestly, it worked. And I was like, but for real though, I couldn't lie. You know how when people have really blue eyes and that red really brings out
Brings
that
out the, yeah, the tears really bring out their eyes for
honestly,
sure.
her eyes did look better.
I mean, you're to the point that it was distracting from the actual problem.
Yeah, but you also don't want everyone to think you have hay fever. So suck it up in the bathroom and come back out when you're good.
Yeah, also put that Visine in because we don't want to see that shit.
I really do love the person who was crying though, but it doesn't matter. It's one of
Yeah,
those things.
yeah, it's true. It's true. You know, it just happens.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Sometimes you cry at work and sometimes you don't.
But definitely go into the bathroom and keep it private.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not a good
yeah,
look.
yeah.
But anyway, so A Haunting in Venice, now that we're here, it did cost $60 million to make.
Okay, fine, I
A
guess.
modest budget, I suppose.
Right.
It's directed by Kenneth Branagh, screenplay by Michael Green, based on the Agatha Christie novel Halloween Party.
Oh, that is. Didn't Agatha
Yeah.
Christie know how to write?
She did know how to write, and apparently it's a good book and like a notable one. But this movie did gross worldwide $121 million.
Speaking of books, I will tell you something that who directed this?
Kenneth Branagh.
Kenneth Branagh, since we know that you're listening. So I don't know if you've thought
Unknown,
about this.
unknown, unknown meanie.
He is a meanie and he's a listener. So since he is listening, I don't know if you know that Julia Fox's book Down the Drain has her memoirs out. So get into it because I'm already starting the third chapter and
Is
each
it good?
I'm enjoying it.
Nice. I mean, she had enough funds to maybe that's why she dated Kanye West so that she could finance a ghostwriter.
This doesn't feel like it's not giving Ghostwriter.
Oh, it's giving you don't know how to write, but thanks for the effort.
No, it's actually giving like it's giving like, yeah, you can put some sentences together. They're a bit jumbled, but also I can't stop reading it
Yeah.
because
Okay.
her life,
Authenticity. Authenticity is great.
she's authentic if nothing else. I love Julia Fox, so like I am fully obsessed with her. So I
Yeah,
did
she's
buy her
definitely
book.
she is doing the thing
I
to
bought her.
to be a mainstay. You know what I
Right.
mean?
I get it. And you know what? I thought I was going to buy Britney's before Julia's. And I'm like, I'm good. I want to read Julia.
Yeah. I mean, Brittany, like I hesitate to go down that dark, dark, twisted hole.
I kind of don't know if, listen,
Like you're gonna learn some hard truths.
I
You're
promised I
gonna
would read it after this. And I think I
yeah.
will because,
I think you really have to just like be ready for the darkness.
oh, I'm ready for the darkness. Julia Fox has some darkness. Her life was not just
Yeah.
like, it wasn't very cookie cutter.
I don't think anybody maybe they'll scratch that. I don't think a lot of people who reached that kind of stardom are okay
Yeah.
and had an all right time.
Not from the beginning, no, because you have to separate yourself from reality to force yourself into a career that is based purely on fantasy because you already
Yeah.
live in one.
Well, let's dissect it because I know that we always love to do like not you and I, but like we as like people, like we love to like
Oh
look
no,
and
you and I, we do.
oh we also yes
Yeah, we do.
we are not excluded. So like we love to like hindsight see things for what they are. Like
Yes,
we are now in hindsight really learning and accepting what actually was going on in Brittany's life.
right. We're in our retrospect era.
But whenever it's like they're currently like huge and like it's actually hitting the news right now, we're just like very judgmental and blah 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 blah. And like but who is now currently in your mind, Travis, like going through it like a
Who's
massive
going?
celebrity who might come out with a memoir and in hindsight we're like oh yeah that totally makes sense.
Oh, I'm listen. I'm going to be honest here. He's just passed away.
Who?
Matthew Perry.
Oh
Oh,
yeah but no he's a hindsighter because he came out with a memoir too.
oh, I didn't know that. But I mean, we all knew he struggled with things, so I guess it's
Yeah,
not a hindsight
who's
because
like
he was very
who is
open.
currently like at the top of fame?
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift and
I don't.
also Harry oops burping Harry Styles
I don't think there would be anything that could come out about them that would actually like
because
really shock me.
yeah they're not really messy, you know what I mean? They're
They're
not
not, they're very curated.
yeah
They're
yeah
very
yeah
curated.
like
Um,
to a very suspicious degree I would argue.
I
Yes,
would say yes, it is very suspect,
it's
but
sus but
did you
like
guys like how I said suspect
yes
instead of suspect?
because
Because
we
we're
are
suspecting people.
refined people.
Yeah.
And so but also so who is it, who else would it be?
I really don't think, listen, I'm not going to lie to you. I
Maybe
think,
maybe it's like the BTS people, maybe it's Blackpink.
but I mean, the thing is, though, is like, I think we kind of already know, like, they come
They're
from a
corporate,
machine.
yeah, they're
They're a
corporate,
machine. They're very, the thing is that they have to be squeaky clean because their
yeah
whole image is based off of like
yeah
appeal.
it's true it's true but who
I'm
knows what they've
sure
been
their
through.
management is like literally on top of them constantly.
24 hours a day
There's no way. They're like the Disney people. The
they've
only
signed their lives
people
away.
who could I think? Honestly, I don't know. Speaking of suspect, like we have a few in this movie. We're doing that thing again where we
We're
are mean
refusing to
girls.
talk about the movie tonight.
We're mean girls interrupted after all.
Yeah, we are Mean Girls Interrupted after all. And I get thank you so much for putting us back on track.
I don't want to go
Because
back on the track.
A Haunting in Venice is a movie, it's a murder mystery. And It was put out by Walt Disney Studios, which
Who
is
is going to
20th.
merge with Hulu?
No, they already have. They own
No, they're going to
Hulu.
become one.
Oh, they're not
They're
gonna.
literally becoming one.
Oh, they're not gonna pretend like they're not the same thing anymore.
I guess not. They're like, well, the cat's out of the bag. Bitch, we done already knew.
But also, 20th Century Studios is the production company, which is Disney. So this is a Disney film. So this stars Kenneth Branagh as the dude, Dylan Corbett Bader as Baker, um, and some other people, and also Tina Fey.
Tina Fey, who I do love seeing. I'm never
Mhm.
not happy to see her.
I like seeing Tina Fey. I knew that she was in this, and I was like very much like, what's she gonna do? Is she gonna be like the tongue-in-cheek comic relief? And she really did give Liz Lemon from 30 Rock
I
the
was also
entire
getting
movie.
I was getting a bit of Liz Lemon, but you want to know what?
Yeah.
I was totally okay with what we had.
I was
It,
fine with what she did. Her accent all over the place. I was
oh,
like, what's going on here?
yeah, it was very it was like she was definitely trying to be of the era, but she wasn't in her era. Did you know what I mean?
Yeah, she wasn't era-ing at all. She wasn't
She
and
wasn't giving era.
she wasn't giving era. She wasn't in her era as you said, yes.
Yeah. But you know who was in her era? Michelle Yeoh. She's
Michelle
always in her
Yeoh,
era.
I love this role for Michelle Yeoh.
Honestly, she served, dude. She was my favorite part of this.
She served and like she got in and she got out.
Jamie Dornan, that's who it is. I
Jamie
could not
Dornan.
remember who the hot man was. Um,
Jamie Dornan is Hollywood's resident hot dude.
he just like pops up. I completely forgot.
A very fine actor and a very
Oh,
fun actor.
oh, fine, in so many different versions of
Yeah.
the word. But you know what?
You have to watch The Fall.
I won't. Um,
It's with no, it's with it's with is it Jillian or Gillian
oh,
Anderson?
who? You're right. You did tell me about
You
this.
have to watch it because it's Gillian Anderson and Jamie Dornan. Jamie Dornan plays a psychopathic murderer sociopath, and he gets creepy in all the best ways.
So he is literally just life imitating art.
Yes.
That's all. That's all just jokes and fun. Okay, so do
Oh,
you,
how do we talk about this movie?
John? I'm gonna Wikipedia this.
Okay, Wikipedia it because I mean, like if we start trying to wing it, it's never going to get done.
Okay, are you willing to let me wiki this?
Yeah, are you willing to let me add some mm-hms and oh?
Are you gonna add some ad libs and some O's and hmms?
I'll be like, oh, right, right.
Sure, I'm totally down with that. And you feel free to cut in because here's the thing: we got to get through this so we can really talk about our feelings.
Yeah, please. So bear with us, everybody. We promise you that on the other side of this, it is going to be hot.
Right. We will say this just based off stats. Budget 60 million. Language English. Box office 121.5 million. Running time 103 minutes.
Yeah, a little
Release
too
date
long.
September 11th, 2023.
Oh, unfortunate.
So this is new. This is new. And,
Very on Hulu.
and as John said, this movie stars Kyle Allen, Kenneth Branagh, Camille Cotton, Jamie Dornan, Tina Fey, Jude Hill. I don't know who that is. Probably the kid.
It
Ali
is the
Khan,
kid. It
Emma
is
Laird.
Leopold Ferrier.
Ugh, what an annoying name.
Annoying.
Ricardo. I'm so sorry. I will not butcher that name. Ricardo, I am so sorry. And Michelle Yeoh. Okay, we're getting in.
Get
Everyone, are
it?
you ready to sit back and listen
Oh,
to us wiki this movie?
I'm ready to sit back and do this thing.
Okay, it's not going to take long at all. Here's the plot, everybody. In
Ready.
1947, Hercule Poirot, who is not fancy water, lives in retirement in Venice. Um, who wrote this? Oh, this is Wiki. Who cares? So he's an ex-police officer, and he acts as he has employing ex-police officer. Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you the ex-police officer. He was
Yeah.
I was
Is that the one at the
there.
beginning?
Oh yeah, and through the middle and through the end.
Oh, he's like the bodyguard, right?
Yeah, what's his name? Is that
I don't know, but I felt the same
you
feeling.
did? Oh
Yeah.
my
I was
gosh.
like,
Okay.
okay.
Okay, so we're starting off like hot bodyguard. So just forget Hercule Poirot.
Yeah.
So on Halloween, it stays.
Halloween.
So on Halloween, mystery writer Tina Fey convinces Perot to attend a Halloween party and seance at the Palazzo of famed opera singer Rowena Drake. By the way, hot name and hot name. So Rowena Drake, and to expose Joyce Reynolds, a World War I Army nurse turned medium as
Michelle
a fraud.
Yeoh.
Michelle Yeoh does play this part very well. Her part should have been longer, but I'm also glad it wasn't. So,
That's what I mean. She was like, I'm gonna get
right.
into this movie. I'm gonna take my newly won Oscar money. I'm gonna do this role for like a solid $2 to $4 million. And I'm a low stakes. The whole thing is not riding on me and my performance the entire time. I die real early.
And does she ever? And she does it very gracefully. So,
Hmm.
we're at a Halloween party. It's creepy. We're in Italy and Italy is sinking. But guess what? Them apples ain't bitch because everybody's hanging out and they're all bobbing for apples.
Is this on Wiki?
No, I'm making this part up.
Just kidding.
So, so they're bobbing for apples and a chandelier falls and they're like, oh my God, ghosts. Now, at this point, Michelle Yeoh has arrived and everyone there for the seance, they're ready. They said, girl, let's conjure some ghosts. And they were like, but we don't have that one hand from the really good movie, the only good movie that came out in 2022, horror.
Yeah.
Go back and watch it. It's called Talk to Me. So, speaking of talking to me, Michelle Yeoh is like, "Hey, Rowena, this house is full of dead children. Let's go do some hopscotch and a jump into your daughter's bedroom, where for some reason, John, there's a parrot."
There is a giant macaw parrot, and it is a visual theme throughout that I did not get.
See, the thing is, it's like they go into this room and they're like, this was so and so's this was so and so's bird. It used to talk when she's alive. It doesn't talk now.
Yeah, I thought that the bird was gonna like utter like the secret that solves the whole thing or puts something together, but I don't think that it actually does.
No, and honestly, all of that could have been, they could have just killed the bird.
Yeah. I
They
know,
could
right?
have just killed the bird.
If you're ever killing a person and there's a parrot in the room, you better kill that bird.
You better
That's a
kill the bird.
snitch in waiting.
You want to know what you can do too? Don't just kill the bird, eat the bird. Don't eat the person, eat the bird.
Eat the bird so all they find are feathers.
Honestly, eat the person if you want. I don't care. You do you, boo boo. Like,
You
I
know
can't
what?
tell you what to do.
Yeah.
So they go into
No
the
body, no crime.
right.
No
That
body,
is,
no crime.
John, that's so true.
Hmm. Eat it, bones and all. Also,
You
we
want
did
to,
bones and all as an episode and go watch it.
right. You want to find her? Look in the outhouse.
Right.
So there you
Timothy,
go.
what you needed, I'm not going to say that Timothy Chalamet was in that movie because it was Marin. Who played Marin?
Who?
Oh, in Bones and All.
Oh, right,
The
right, 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 right.
actress. Oh my
Yes, I
gosh.
love her.
Why Taylor Russell.
Yes,
Taylor
Taylor Russell.
Russell is the movie star
We love
of
Taylor
of
Russell
our
over here.
generation, and nobody has figured that out yet. If you know, you know. Taylor Russell,
Get into it.
Taylor Russell.
We need a Mia Goth and Taylor Russell movie.
We do need a Mia Goth and Taylor Russell movie because the world would implode.
Right. Okay, so back to this movie.
Yeah,
So Michelle Yeoh is conjuring ghosts and spirits in this room, and they're like, "You're a fraud." Anyway, I think an apparition.
yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so we're cutting to the part where basically they're like, Michelle's a fraud. She goes down and talks to the detective, and Michelle, who I actually at this point truly believe can see ghosts, tells the
Hmm.
detective, why can't any of this just be any fun? And then she ends with, we'll never cross paths again. Only to 5 minutes later be tossed over a balcony and
Hmm.
is impaled on a giant hand. And
So
listen, wait, I know some of you out there. have been impaled by a hand, and you asked for it.
You asked for it,
So
but it
don't you
wasn't
come.
done right. Is my
No,
was my take.
she wasn't a puppet.
Mm-mm.
Now, if you all need a minute to let that sink in,
You're not gonna get it
no,
because
pull your head in
we're on
your
a
hand.
time crunch.
We're on a time crunch. So everyone's like,
Oh,
oh
keep
no.
talking.
She's like, oh no. Everyone's like, oh, she died. And then they're like, well, who died? So now they have to figure it out. John has left the building. So I'm going to tell you all this. Okay. So a storm cuts off the palazzo, and now everybody is stuck in this house. Perot starts interviewing all the guests, trying to figure out who killed Michelle Yeoh.
Who
And
killed
everyone's
Michelle
like,
Yeoh? That should have been the
who,
movie name.
Yo, who killed her? And so,
Yeoh.
yeah, exactly. So he's interviewing all the guests, and they're like, wasn't me, wasn't me, wasn't me, as everyone
Of
does.
course.
Uh,
And it gives full murder mystery murder dinner
Honestly,
theater dinner.
it is.
I
John, it's
can't.
all
I'm
of,
going through a stroke currently right
listen,
now.
listen, it's all of those things, except for we've now injected a creepy child into this who
Ugh, is he even creepy at all, or is he just really obnoxious?
he's so annoying and he's so pretentious. So we
So
have,
pretentious. A wealthy child in glasses should never be given a speaking role, in my
right,
opinion.
exactly. Everyone in the house was like, whoa, 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 whoa. It wasn't me. We should be talking about Michelle Yeoh. And so I guess
We just
the
Mother
detective
Goose.
is, we did just Mother Goose. So the detective is just sitting here detectiving. And he's like, when the guests come across the underground chamber, they're like, we have to go into this chamber to figure some things out.
It's
We're
a chamber
jumping.
of secrets, and also Kenneth Branagh was in the Harry Potter movies.
What's
Yeah, he's one of the teachers.
Oh, right. I know who you're speaking of.
Yeah,
So Rowena, hot name, is like, there's
yeah,
not a basement in here, and Fancy Water kicks this secret door in, and they go downstairs and they see all of these skeletons and cages where children were locked up at one point and died in the
yeah.
house, which is now making everyone think the place is haunted.
And then someone's like, "Surprise, bitch! You're gonna get locked down there during this rainstorm in Venice."
Yep, in Venice. And then they don't. Somehow a fight breaks out downstairs and then they're back upstairs, which makes no sense to me.
Right, and then we reveal that like what Jamie Dornan really just dies.
So Jamie Dornan does die.
Yeah,
So now we have how many bodies
we have
are in this place?
two.
Two.
We have two dead bodies currently.
We
Yes.
have two dead bodies currently. Somebody else dies in this movie.
Somebody else does die.
Who is it?
Um, hmm.
Who else dies in this movie? There's three bodies in the. Oh, okay. I know. I know what happens. Okay. So
There
we're
are four dead bodies. One of them is dragged to the bottom of the canal in Venice, and we never to be seen or heard from again.
So who is the other body then?
The other
John,
body.
I just watched this movie yesterday and I cannot remember. Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm getting down to the base of this. You guys, if you want to watch it, go for it. Okay.
Hmm.
So Leslie's found stabbed to death, and that is who Jamie Dornan is. So okay.
Yeah. Do you want me to help you out?
I just
Because
no,
okay.
I'm gonna end it. So here's how we do it. Jamie Dornan's found stabbed to death, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, how did this happen? He was locked into a room that nobody could get in.
Yeah, yeah.
But some things happen, and we're like, you know what? All fingers are starting to point at Rowena. And they're like, what's
Mm,
happening here? So Rowena was the only one with a key in here, and she gives that
yeah.
key
But
away.
you know what really does happen though?
What?
I'll tell you what happens in this movie. Okay.
Next to nothing?
No, Kenneth
Oh,
Branagh, Puro or whatever.
sure.
The movie's just going along,
Ross
and
Perot.
yeah, Ross Perot, he is starting to question his own sanity at this
Yeah, because of
point.
ghosts and stuff.
Yeah, and spooky haunting thingies. And then out of literally nowhere, he just starts going into this monologue where he has pieced it all together. And
Yeah.
he tells us, the audience, everything that we need to know
Yep.
and why it is Rowena
Yeah.
who and all of and nothing is really paid off. This is all new information that we did not actually see.
No.
And he has just opined this whole thing and it's actually true.
Yeah.
And
All of
then
it.
and then Rowena's like, well, the joke's on you guys because I'm gonna lock you in this room while you drown. And so there's a whole cat and mouse situation, and she is thrown over um, uh, the balcony into the water, and she dies there and is dragged down by a spirit into the depths of the Venice Canal. And then it's like, and then Tina Fey is like, well, I guess you solved it, but you hurt my feelings along the way. And he's like, hey, I'm really sorry I hurt your feelings. Can we still be friends? And then Pierrot, he goes back to his whole life of doing
Um, Hold up.
detective things.
No, before we jump over the fact that all of it leads back to the little rich bastard who
Oh, right.
the
Ugh.
dumbest twist that could ever twist its way into an already terrible script. So
This little bastard,
the
this
whole
little
thing,
rascal.
he led all the way, it leads all the way back to him,
He
and
was
his
the
dad was
original,
killed.
he was the original blackmailer that resulted in Rowena Munchausen by proxying overdosing her own daughter.
Killing Michelle Yeoh and also convincing Jamie Dornan to impale himself on a sword.
Yeah, and you know what though? This kid, this little Jude, he he's the real winner because he actually literally blackmailed his own mom to give him a substantial amount of money.
Funny. So there we go. The only monster in that house was him. So there we
Yeah.
go.
And so he's terrible. The movie ends with Pierrot doing a thing where he's like talking a lot to another person. And that's the movie. That's A Haunting in Venice. And Travis, what did you think?
Oh, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you asked.
I'm very glad that I asked too because I've been dying to know. Did you like it?
So so let me think. Out of 10, Tina Fey's being like, you know what? You're right. You don't have any friends, and I did make you famous, and I am owed a new book. So
Oh, wow.
out of 10 of those, I'm gonna be
So she's
like,
basically playing Agatha Christie, right?
yeah, pretty much.
So I imagine that Agatha Christie, like in all of her like research for her books, like knew a private detective that she based the character on.
Most likely who she went around with and then had a bunch of oh okay out of 10 flopped um out of 10 flopped books by
Yeah,
a fictional Agatha Christie,
yeah.
I'm gonna give this movie um oh
Mm.
we've watched some really bad ones and I don't know where this falls, so I'm just gonna say it falls flat on its face and it's left with four teeth.
Oh,
Four.
nice,
I'm giving it
nice.
a four.
Now I can understand like a five for like a very lackluster movie where it just doesn't do anything, but I feel like four kicks it to the point where it did something to you to assault you, and so you gave it a four.
Yeah, because it was a giant waste of time.
Yeah.
It was an incredible
Yeah.
waste of time because here's the thing. When it first started, I love a good mystery, a good being
Sure.
operative
Sure.
here. That's we said this in the beginning.
Sure.
This it was like, hey, audience, we don't know whether or not we're an actual horror movie
Yeah.
because
It's not a
I
horror
don't
movie, obviously.
no,
It's
it's
not.
not. And but here's the thing though, it's like I really don't need supernatural elements that might actually be real mixed in with a murder
Yeah.
mystery.
Neither do I. And I also don't need the ending to confirm that yes,
Yep.
there is mystery to the universe.
Yeah.
What I do by like showing that there is indeed a spirit, but it's just not what we thought it was. What I also don't need is wondering the entire time, like, what made Tina Fey do this movie?
Right.
What is she just like
So
a massive Agatha Christie fan? Was it Disney cashing in on an existing contract? Was it her wanting to get in with Disney and 20th Century Studios and Hulu to for her a contract of her own that she can, like, use to her advantage? Was it
yeah.
a was it a it could not have been a pay to play deal where it's like they just promise her this amount of money to attach to it in order to get financing because this is a Disney movie.
Right.
So I'm just like, what made Tina Fey want to go drama with this specific movie?
So out of 10, what made Tina Fey decide to go drama with this specific movie? What are you going to give it?
I am gonna give this movie. I'm gonna just go give it a 5 because
You are.
I felt that 5 out of 10. So like I felt like I was at a 5 this whole movie. You know what I mean? It was just like it was just the flat the entire time.
John, I was at a 5 until the very end when we saw that thunderclap and lightning and the ghost pull Rowena off of the balcony.
Yeah, and I was just sort of like, and he doesn't really like talk about it to anybody
No,
else, even though
I
he
can
witnesses
buy
it.
I can buy into the hallucination of the honey. That's perfectly
Sure,
fine.
sure.
Until
Which
we
also we need to acknowledge that, by the way.
So here's the thing though, and this is when we do actually realize there are entities that exist and they pull Rowena away under the water. He's not in the water hallucinating that. That's happening. And I'm like, this movie
Mm-hmm.
does not know at what point it was
Yeah.
supernatural or not. And I don't like that.
That feels like more like a studio note. Like they're
That,
like the studios were like, you know what, we need to actually
no,
have like a we can't keep it vague. And so I think it'd be like really cool if we keep it spooky. But like I just feel like yes, I was watching this and there were certain elements that I could respect, and those elements were mostly like cinematography
oh,
and and also performances.
sure.
I think the actors were doing a great job. The kid was annoying, but I think the material itself, the idea itself, was really interesting.
Yes.
I think Michelle Yeoh she is the Meryl Streep. Now she is the new Meryl Streep, and so
Imagine them in a movie. Can we go back to the cinematography because I
yeah.
actually have to make a point about something.
Oh, I do have a criticism of the cinematography, and I hope that you're about to say the same thing. And if
Was
it
it
has, if
when it got very doom and it was first person and he opens up that rusted metal gate and we've never seen first person in this movie until that scene and we never saw it again for a whole half second.
but
And
was
also
yeah.
the wide angle that just randomly
Mm-hmm.
happened in the living
Yes,
room.
I hate wide angles in all movies. It feels so like American Horror Story now. It's annoying. But also I think whenever he was doing the first person situation, it would reverse angle on him and he had
Yeah.
like the camera attached to an apparatus that was on the actor. I hate that.
You want to know
I
what?
I absolutely hate that. It's like a fear factor situation. It's like it gives reality television. It's really terrible.
No, 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 no. It was only used well one time ever in cinematic history. And that was in that movie that stars Mar is it who is it? It's our dear friend. I've lost everything. Everything in my brain is gone. Um double-sided
Oh,
pleasure.
Darren Aronofsky, Requiem for a Dream. It is
That's it.
used
Thank
in
you.
that. It is on Marlon Wayans as
And also all not just on him, but also on Jennifer.
yes, yes, yes,
It's a first
yes.
name basis. So it was on Jennifer, and that's the
Jennifer
only time.
Connelly.
No,
It is
just JC.
just JC,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
JC and DD.
Yeah, yeah.
getting busy.
Yeah. So
um
JT and DD getting busy.
um
So
so
that's the only time I've ever liked it, and I
I
don't care
do
for
I
it.
don't like it. I
You
can't
didn't even
stand
like
it.
it in that movie?
No, I can't do it because it feels like the actor's having a hard time with that weight.
True, they are struggling.
And also it's like it's I know I feel like I get the reason why it's happening, but it's just taken me out of the movie at this point because I'm like they have a camera attached to their waist that is pointed at them and we are getting this really goofy looking angle.
Yeah, see it. Yeah, right. There were some.
Ugh,
See, I don't know. I just don't know.
we just don't know. But that's a haunting in Venice, everybody.
Sure.
I feel like I was watching this movie and was like, you know what? We watched it and we're going to talk about it. I can't wait for the day that movies are coming out again that we actually get a good one. So,
Think that, we'll have some good ones coming up soon. It's going to be far and few between.
yeah, because what October
Um,
was just like riddled with baddies and not in a good way.
oh, I'm so sorry. You know what we should have watched? Just the Reanimator.
Let's do that next week.
I already did it.
Okay.
I would actually gladly do it again. Have you ever watched the Reanimator?
I have not seen the Reanimator, but the thing
Oh,
is, are we gonna do it now?
I'm down. I'll watch it again.
Okay,
Wait.
let's
Oh
do the
no, that's
Reanimator
giving
next
away
week.
what I think about it.
Oh, that's okay. It doesn't matter. Does it?
Well, maybe let's not pick a horror. You guys, we're
Okay.
gonna put a bookmark in Reanimator, but it's coming up in like 2 weeks,
Okay,
probably.
putting a pin in the Reanimator
Oh
and
no, no bookmark because
a
everyone
bookmark.
down the drain, Julia Fox out now.
Right. Well,
Sponsored by Julia Fox's memoir.
I mean, if Julia Fox is paying podcasters to promote her book, we're here.
Honestly, right. We're
Yeah.
so here for it. Um, yeah, what do you think? So next week, do we do a rom-com? Do we do an
I
action?
don't
I kind of
know.
miss and but here's the thing. I actually really do want to watch a movie that we like. Oh, John,
What?
I started watching Scavenger's Reign, and we'll talk
You
about that
did?
later. Yes,
Per my request.
per your request.
Thank you so much for honoring that request
I
because I
told you
feel
I would,
like
girl. I told you I would.
I haven't finished it. Have you finished it?
Not yet, but I'm working on it.
Yeah, good show.
It's good.
Good
You
show.
guys, HBO, Scavenger's
Profound in
Reign.
ways that are
The, the
unexpected.
The animation's great. I love so many
Um,
things about this show. Not the movie A Haunting in Venice. I don't love many things about it. Um,
yeah, I was meaning to follow up on that because, like, yeah, Scavenger's Reign. That's what I'm gonna do tonight after this. We're gonna watch an episode of
I mean
Scavenger's Reign.
that people should follow, rate, review,
I
like,
do.
subscribe.
Yes, yes.
Like
Sorry.
you can do all of those things.
Yes, sorry. The Zoom was cutting out for a second, but yes,
Oh,
you can do all these things. You can do all the
sure.
things. You can follow. You can like. You can you've heard it a million times from a million different places. You're gonna do what you're gonna do, but also what you're gonna do, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see you at the movies.
Roll the credits, you bird. That literally only says Alicia one time to like insinuate that there's a ghost in the room, and then we
Yeah,
never see that bird again. Honestly, that bird and Michelle Yeoh, they were lucky
they
because
were.
they got out of that movie so fast.
They
Roll
really
the
really
credits,
did.
bird.
Bye.